Yeah, I believe that we're actually live now. Just check so I can actually have the chat working on. But what we're doing, our mentor, ChatGPT Plus version. So I'm gonna be teaching myself, teaching you, ScriptRunner for data center and Groovy in Jira. Yes, I am aware that the data center will end in 2029 and there will be no scripts in there. But the biggest headache is going to be moving those data center scripts from data center to the actual cloud. But still, we actually need to level up a bit to learn more scripting, to learn more technical part, and also maybe the next journey would actually be going on and jumping to Forge because the focus is going to be on the cloud, of course. All right, let's jump right in. All right, the very first thing within the Groovy itself is the definition of having the variables, right? So everything starts with a variable. And how do we actually define a variable? Is with this keyword right here that we have defined, which is def, def, and from there we give it a name. So what we're actually gonna do, so our teacher G told us basically to have something like issue or something like that. Let's use it. From there, we are using this shortcut right here, issues. And from there, we are getting get by key. So this part right here that you actually see, this is something that is being called from the simplified version of the Java API that is being used by the script runner on the data center. And that is happy. This part right here. But the teacher G told us, do not rely always on that because you also need to know the Java API. So even though it gives accurate answers and makes scripts look much more simpler and look more easy to follow. Yeah, so what we're actually getting is we're gonna get by the key, and key in here we're gonna be finding is going to be PM1. So as you can see in here, it's giving us some recommendations. Let's go with PM4, for example. We don't have to follow the rules all the time. All right, so question is, what now? So what we can actually do with this? So we can do some fetching of the data, for example. And this is something that our teacher G is actually telling us basically to do. But we're gonna do it in a different way. So I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. So in order to print out the stuff on the console, you're mostly gonna be using the log.warn, and this is where you actually want to be within your console. This is where you want to test your scripts out and where you actually want to work with those scripts in there. So what we're gonna have in here, I'm gonna say now in quotes. So for example, I know the key, but I'm actually interested in something else in here. So for example, I'm interested to know who the assignee is. So I can say assignee, and then I'm going to be using something that is called the interpolation. You're going to be seeing that our teacher G also told us about the interpolation. So basically, in Groovy, it looks like this. So you have a $sign, an open, and curly braces in here. So as you can also see, the color has changed. Why? Because in here, we're putting this variable right here that we have defined, which is issue. Now we do have the issue, but also we need to have some operations from it. So we need to have some more data from it. So how do we actually call that data? Go with the dot sign. Now from there, we actually go with the assignee. Do we have something in here? Well, we don't. So we have the assignee. If you actually go run, it's gonna say who the assignee is. So that's me. Another thing that we can actually do as well is, for example, we are looking for status. And for the status, it's a bit different. So you're gonna go type in issue.status. But if you leave it like that, you're going to get all of these stuff that it's not even related that much. Now in here it's saying a name to do, right? So from here, it is actually giving you the options that you can do when you put another dot in here. So if you go for status category, for example, it's gonna say, hey, this is the status category. But we're not interested in that. It's not really accurate. And now if we go with name, it gives us the name. And the status is actually in to do status. That's actually pretty good. So we have fetched some of the data for this specific issue right here. So that is actually how you do it from Groovy. Yeah, for example, what you can also do is, as you saw, it gave us some conditions. And the conditions are mostly defined by if-else statements in the development. And you're going to be seeing that all of the time. So if I say if, and it says issue.status.name, and if in which this is, so I can actually say if this is in to do, I'm going to say log.warn. I would say better start working. All right, so if I go with run, it's going to run. So this means if this part right here is true, so if this is actually correct, you're going to printing out things like this. It doesn't have to be this one, it could be a different operation or something like that, but that is basically how it's being done. Okay, cool. Now, there's also definition of example of the structure itself and basically how it works. And it's saying this is why we're actually using logger.warn to always have the auditing in there. And this is pretty much what we have done from this practice right here. Also, the mentioning of the string interpolation and how the string interpolation actually works. So those are the string methods that are basically being used. one of those. So you have interpolation and you have also the concatenation. Basically, to concatenate two strings is actually bringing those two strings together. That is the whole point, and you do that by adding the plus sign to it. Basically, that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, great. So, and there is accessing of nested objects. Okay, good. And there were these variables in here. And of course, variables can have different data data values, right? So you can have strings. So this right here, this is a string. You can have numbers. There are different types of numbers. You have the integers, which are the whole numbers that could also be negative and positive. And you also have like floats, which are actually the decimals, and they can both be negative and positive. That's it. Yeah, so from here, we also have these right here. So this is a list. So for example, if I go and say definition issue types, and if I say bug, and if I say task, and if I say epic, I say story. Now, what can actually be done from here is, well, pretty much a lot of stuff. First, basic stuff is, let's say I wanna log the very first, because all of these are elements of this list, right? And so in order to get this first one, which is actually the bug, I go and take on and say issue types and go with this. So what I did is basically I defined the number of the element, and in scripting, not only in Groovy but in most programming languages, elements are being started to be counted from 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. And when you go from this, boom, it actually prints out bug. But there are more interesting things than this, right? So because this is just a trivial one, not really the practical one. More practical one, where you're basically gonna be using later, is, let's say, fetching all of the possible issues from a specific project that you define based on the JQL, is looping through all of them. And actually, in order to loop through a certain list, you're actually using each option. So how this actually goes. So it issue types dot each, and from here it opens these braces in here. Now, since actually it opens these braces, what you can actually do in here is you can be like, okay, for each of these, can I go and be like log warn issue types? Yes, you can. But what is it going to happen in here is it's gonna go through all of them. So it's printing out 4 lists, which is basically something that we don't want to do. So what do we do here? Well, in order to actually loop through each of them, we need to define a temporarily variable in here that is only gonna be used within these braces in here. And we can define it. We can say that this is actually going to be like issue, but it's going to be followed by dash and followed by this arrow right here. Now, what we actually have now is log warn. It's going to be issue. All right, so now if we actually take a closer look, and probably that's going to be right here, it cannot be compiled. Oh, interesting. So there's probably one part that we're actually missing in here. So if I go with it, for example, and for log the warn it, I goes bug, task, epic, and story. Because this is actually a reserved keyword, if I can actually say that, specifically being used in Groovy. But if we go to our Professor G right here, so what is it saying? It's saying it means current item in the list. That is the definition of it. Current item in the list. So priorities each, and then it goes. So this means log warn it. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking in a different one. There we go. Bug, task, epic, and story. This is actually something that we were looking for. I was looking at the results non-stop. But that is how it actually iterates it through. Another thing is, if you go shoe, so it's log warn it. Yeah. The current item in the list. There's actually maps that are key value structure. So it's actually starting saying mission of a user has these different braces in here, but it's gonna have the key value pairs. For example, name, this one. Role, it's gonna be this one. Name, role, or else it could be. Let's put in age pairs. There we go. So now we also have that. Now what happens is Professor G. Now this is what it does. So log.warn user.name. There you go. The same thing goes. So it's basically calling each of these parameters right here from this specific map. So these right here, these are the lists, and they're gonna be really useful when you're actually fetching through all the possible things. Also, closures. Okay, so the closures is this one that we were talking about. And this block right here, that is defined as a closure. Now in here, numbers dot each number. So this is what I wanted to have. This right here. So issue types. So I can go with I, and then I can go here, and I can say log.warn I. There we go. Even better. So I wasn't wrong. So you can use either. You can use that IT reserved word, or you can use this one. So it cannot be the same. It cannot say issue. Can I say it? Can I say that? It needs to be something different in order for it to actually loop through each of these issue types. So that is what is actually important. All right, Professor G, let's go. Collection functions. So as you saw, there was this each loop that we actually went through, where it actually had the numbers. And there's also this find first matching item. Oh, this is actually pretty interesting. Interesting one that I that was interesting to me. Where basically you have this result and you have this list in here, and what is it finding in here within this closure is basically everything that is bigger than 2. So expected results would be 3 and 4. But it's only saying here 3. Why? All right, so let's go here. Let's go with numbers. Let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're gonna have numbers. We're gonna go with find. And now what we're actually finding in here is, first of all, we need braces. And since we actually need braces, it's gonna be IT2. But before that, from here, how we are actually gonna print this out. So we need a new variable. So we can actually call this variable result. So number finds, and we can log warn this result. Right. Let's run this. Yeah, definitely saying it's number 3. T 2. But why is it not 4? Saying find the first matching item. Not only one. The first matching item. Not all the match. What if I say all? Big difference. So we covered each, which is basically like a for each loop, where you're basically looping through each possible element within the list itself. That is going to be pretty useful, especially when going through all specific issues within a certain project based on the condition. And that condition can actually be a simple condition, or it can actually progress to be a complex condition. Right. So, and right here with find, so there is difference. Find all. Find is for first matching item. And find all is it is what is it saying? that basically is. So it's finding all in here, everything that is within this closure that is bigger than 2. And that is 3 and 4. Like we have it in here. And this is exactly what is it saying in here. Now this, we also have collect. So it's each, find all, collect. So collect is transforming the values. So how is it actually transforming the values? If we actually go back in here, and if we say def more numbers, and it's gonna be 5, 6, 7, 8, for example, and say numbers, and we will say collect, and it's gonna have the curly braces. Forget about that. What's gonna happen in here is if we say it and double for 5, double for 2, what do you think it's going to happen? So first of all, before that, we need another result. Yes. Now the question is, what happens is we go with print. It's gonna be result. It's not print. Sorry. It's log.warn. Actually, print also works, but it doesn't work in the script runner itself. So log warn, it's gonna be result 1. Now, if we go down 10, 12, 14, 16, everything is being doubled. So you have each, you have find all, and here you have select. This is, by the way, how you also comment on your code, so you can remember and you can actually get back to it after some certain time if you forget how your script actually worked and what it actually did. And also helps the others who are using the script runner as well to basically understand how it works. Okay, great. Yeah, so it's searching for issues, looping for issues, checking the condition, and updating. So it's like this. So if it's like this, issues for each, and it goes for that. So I'm gonna show you that specific example. So it's gonna be different. So it's gonna be, let's say, all issues, and it's gonna say we're also gonna be calling happy, but instead we're gonna be going with the search option. In here, what you're basically doing is you are now defining the JQL. So the JQL actually goes in here, and even it says to you the string of the JQL. So project equals to PM, and status is not done. So before that, of course, always check for the validation of it. So I already started type it, so to PM and status not done. There we go. Of course it's correct. So now what happens? So we have all of them. Now, what you can actually do is all issues, each. So from here, it's gonna say, all issues. I can say it, and I can say log.warn. And from here, what I can actually do is I can do different stuff. So for example, I can say key interpolation it.key. Then what I can also do is status interpolation it.status.name. There we go. And if you actually go, there is a lot of them. PM6, PM5, PM4, PM3, PM2, PM1. And all of them statuses to do. Now what we can actually do is we can comment some stuff in here. So this to comment on multiple lines, you're using it like this. So here, this is the comment of it, and also comment on this one, and comment on this one. But also, something else that could be included in here is what if you have something like, for example, let me go here, already, and it can be like priority.name. Let's run this. Medium. Right, so happens if all it equals a, still some stuff can actually happen. Whoop. Mistake. Logborn if it priority name. So if it priority name equals to medium, what happens next? Log warn, and we can be like key, and we can say it dot run. There you go. It's all of them. So it's actually nesting the if condition here. interesting thing. Yeah. What else do we have? Oh yeah. One more thing that I forgot to mention, of course, is I'm using Docker for this, and it's actually pretty much easier using Docker because you can install Jira and Postgres without any headaches of doing the manual setup of your own database and doing the connections and creating the database and creating the user and assigning it the password and everything else. I mean, it doesn't take that much time, but with Docker, so with Docker, especially this script right here, especially when you are using this for practicing purposes, what I'm saying, practicing purposes, it's pretty great, and it does the job pretty good. All right, let's go back here. So this is what it's having. So it's for each, and it's going through it, and it's going through all of them. Great, it does that. And you could also say priority with the arrows log.warn priority. That's it. Oh, this one. This one. This one was a challenge, actually. It was a challenge, quite honest. So that first one where it basically had um uh priorities, right? So it was this one. And the goal was actually to print out only the highest, the high and the highest, right? So that was the whole goal behind it. So to actually have the high and the highest. Now, one of the tips was to actually use the find all, which is correct. It's to the find all option. But that is not where things are basically ending, right? So if you go and say just let me define another variable in here, saying say only high, it's gonna be equaling to priorities find all. But when you're actually finding for all the possible things, right, it needs to be, so first of all, need to think about that it loop through everything first. So if you're saying find all, you can still use that it stuff. So it can be like its priority name equals I, or so there's this option, the logical operator of or, the or name to highest. See, there are already errors in here. Some stuff is happening, so no such property name for the class. So it's saying that basically static type checking is not the best thing here. So how do we actually tackle this? So first of all, this would actually first have each. And since it's actually each, it would actually also go with find all. And from there, it not. Wait. Oh, it's not even. Ooh, a tough one. So it's each. So it's looping through and finding all, because finding all is definitely, because the find only finds the first matching, um, the first matching, the first matching option in there. So if it would be with find, it would actually go high, but want to find the high, want to go high. So that's the thing, actually. Uh, each can see. Because it's, if it's for each, because it's turn, right? So here is to list. Hmm. Hmm. Cannot find though. Let's go here. So it also go this one. Wait, let's go with this one. Let's see what happens. Ah, oh, basically nothing. Nothing that much. Oh, it's tricky. So 40s. That's a closure argument. All. I think it needs to go through each first, and then actually go to go to each, so it first. Now, O M highest. So both. So it's dot there. I need help. But there it is. Ah, okay. So it went for find and all first. For this one, highest, and then it took that result, and then it's printed out. So hmm. So saying it equals I or nice, but if I throw in and Pretty interesting. So it loops through it and says, okay, these two are true. Stored in a result. Say now we loop through the list. Now we also have this cleaner version, even smarter. Okay. Search issues, filter issues, update. This is why does it matter? Especially with this one, where you have this script and the issues themselves. This pattern is everywhere in the ScriptRunner automation. All issues, but to P. And from there, it continues. Uh, Good question. Yeah, because still on the job market out there, I've been seeing ScriptRunner everywhere, basically, for the DC. Even though those companies, I believe, going going to be. But not only that, and also are learning more about it, understanding it, also having that technical part under under my belt. If you understand what I'm actually trying to say, but that was the good. But like I said, um, most jobs out there are saying you need to know the script runner, script run, script run, script run. So basically, everything was going around the script runner itself. And even though it's also gonna be the pain of translating the script runner, the data center to cloud. So I'm really wondering how that is going to turn out because you know how much script runner is limited on the cloud because it's not using the Java API. But I'm sure that at least Atlassian will solution of it. I believe I also saw that there's an app that actually does this, translates those scripts. But ScriptRunner also exists on the cloud as well. I mean, it's much easier, but then again, I want to still understand the syntax. I still want to understand basically um, how it works, how to actually use the loops, how to use the other stuff as well. So I don't know if I answered your question, but yeah. Here I am actually. Alright, so we got some stuff going on. So logger, it's not slot. So choose something comes out. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, that actually would be great. Yeah. Because I'm still actually getting into the ropes of ScriptRunner and else. But in order for me to basically understand all those things, I first should grasp the fundamental stuff in terms of Groovy. But at the same time, I want to actually use it into more practical stuff. So basically, like learning on the go, uh, especially with these or for each loops and everything else. So I was always trying to run away from that part in scripting in general. Um, but yeah, it seems right now that I saw a lot of stuff mentioning about having that script runner experience, and I was like, okay, this is something that actually has to be learned as well. And Atlassian is not really talking about that much about the knowledge of script runner at all. I don't know why. Maybe they have their own reasons. Who knows? Um, but sure. Yeah, thanks for the offering. Thanks for the offer. Appreciate that. All right, so what am I missing here? Issues find all. Uh, Prior. What's going on? Issues find. Actually good with this one. Okay. So it's from here, the Professor G saying this, and this is the similar thing, right? It's saying find all, and everything that is bigger than 3, the output is 4 and 5. I understand that. I'm searching issues with JQL. This one. So that part actually search for JQL. But also what I also think about actually seems like the Forge is gonna be the big part in, and it's really gonna be, let's say, the future of the cloud internet. But now if we're talking about AI stuff and everything that's happened regarding the AI, first Atlassian moving from the human collaboration to the AI first company, it seems like everything is going to be using the AI, and probably for ScriptRunner at some point they're also gonna be having their own AI that's going to write to the scripts and everything else. So you wouldn't actually be needing to know ScriptRunner that much, but rather just writing the good prompts and prompts that are giving you the expected results. So yeah, so that is kind of a my at least. Yeah. Oh, it's been an hour. I think that this is my longest stream out. Yeah. Um. So this is it. So it goes from find all, and so it finds all and all of them that are the highest. It's not only going with one correct one. Mm, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. The security was always the problem, at least in a data center. And in 2029, they're not gonna have that much of headaches anymore. Not gonna be seeing the security bulletin, everything else. Um, the good thing, the good thing about this is what I actually saw was from the Atlassian's bug bounty program that a lot of people are actually active reporting the vulnerabilities, both in the server side and both on the cloud side. So yeah, yeah. To add the automation with the Forge, that's actually sounds really interesting. I never I never did it before. Never did something like I never created an automation with Forge. Maybe I didn't have a specific use case or something like that. Maybe that should be something I could be exploring. What I was trying to actually do with the Forge was create my own robo agent that would save me significant amount of time adding users uh, to projects and assigning them roles. Do you know how boring that task is? And when I get this, can I be added to something that I mean it's a tedious task. It's not something that's hard to do. It's just like a couple of clicks and done. But then again, it's like, oh, this is just like repetitive stuff. And it keeps going, it keeps coming. And I'm like, can an agent actually do this for me? Can I just write down, hey, I want you to add this prop and um to assign them a specific role or something like that. That was something I was actually, but it turns out, well, we didn't. And I don't want to talk about it, but this morning I was like asking Robo, hey, like how many statuses are in this specific workflow. It started to basically throw me out some statuses that they didn't even exist. And its answer was, hey, it's basically because I'm hallucinating. The agent, of course, the robo chat was hallucinating. I was like, huh, okay, interesting. And then they're saying that AI is gonna replace the humans. Yeah, good luck on that. Good luck, really. Um, there's actually more to this issue search, and this is like much more. This is more of the JQL stuff, and where it's basically going through each of these and saying, okay, if this is actually matching and everything else, list all of them and just give me status the status names and everything else. Yeah, and as you can see, basically this is why it's actually. And then uh and now the Professor G is saying they can actually help you search issues, analyze them, update, add comments, precision workflows, and stuff like that. So interesting stuff. Updating stuff. Yeah, this was also something interesting. So I can go get by key project. Oh my god. So now I see why why did this didn't want to work. Okay. But this was totally wrong, and no wonder why the script didn't actually want to. It's almost like that thing, hey, I'm looking all over the place of my code and it seems everything is right. Oh, a semicolon is actually missing. Good thing is for the group don't have. Yeah, yeah, you're right about. But it's just, the simple stuff that you ask Robo to actually, or to be like, hey, list all of the issues that were assigned to me. It did that, and actually did it pretty great, and it showed me how the total number of it, which was great. But this, like counting the number of statuses and everything else, and I was like, it's getting the statuses that do not even exist in this workflow, and I was like, where did you get this info from? And it was like, oh, I was getting this from all over the place, and it was about the hallucination. I have this. Let me just here. Basically, what it said to me. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So I even turned on that feature to think deep, and it's saying asked it to double check. It said it was effectively hallucinated based on generic Jira patterns. So it said it directly to me. It was like, hey, this was a hallucination. Oh, okay. 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 Thanks for that, by the way. I didn't know about the console. Yeah, I believe that you can also yeah, to save the whole scripts, right? When you actually save them, this one script editor. That I'll say great. Cool. What was this? Ah, yeah, and there was this like issue that was it. This one and something that was like really easy. It's like saying set and say flow from script. So that is the one actually saying this one flow from script runner. But that is about the updating fields, especially the custom fields. It was really interesting because I could actually change it in, and I really um saw the change itself, which was pretty nice. Um, add comments, assign transition issues, yes. Right, so it's saying modify comment, assign field. There we go. Yeah, this is for each of them, all of them. Just for this JQL first, then this takes each and disclosure in here up. So if I go say let's name it JQ, choose search. See stats. Ooh, search always returns the list. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's from this. I actually saw this from this API documentation, actually, because I'm using the Professor G here to actually some of the things. It should be good, though, if it's on plus subscription. I think it can actually help you a lot. It helped me at least at some point to understand some things. Yeah, that's right. And from here, I'm saying JQ is going. Shh. see. It's always curly braces. Sir. Here, basically, it's like set set. Can I? Oh, good. He'll pass a runtime recognition. Time recognition. Something. Hmm. Um. Oh, you mean this one? Yeah, like that. Okay. Yeah. I think it's. I think it's much more nice. Or I go into. Go right in here. First do it. There we go. So it did. So it did. It's good. Yeah, I'll do that. Sure. You always have this part. Wait, why why is this not but for status category? So it recognizes status. Hmm. a menu there, but like it says, it's about learning experience to hopefully master it. Not sure like you and RHM. I don't know how for how long you've been the script runner stuff or something like that. I would like to know that. Okay. Updating stuff. This is it. Issues for each. So basically, in here, everything stays the same, except having set custom field. And now it's searching for the value. So in here, it's two parameters, right? And I need to go with one of them. I didn't. Okay. Summer. Pick color. Blue. Run. Okay. No such thing as that. Okay. So stuff. There's that one that script run. It's gonna see times the project script to update this first part, second, at least what I saw. Spain. Mm-hmm. More than 5 years. Oops. Yeah, that's pretty hot. It's almost like senior level or something. You must have written a lot of scripts then. So I believe that, at least from your experience, it took you actually some time to get into that and start applying that on your. I think that was your, at least, stuff. What? Come on. Options are. Oh, that. More confluence. More confluence pages script. But you have 5 years of experience. It's not something that is. It's not something that is 5 years of experience. That's a lot. Also adding a comment. So it's that this part right here. This is sometimes getting space. Basically find all, but it has logic to it. So finding all of them that are priority name highest, right? But it's then going based this part, so everything is connected. Then to for issue and all of them in this part have a priority of the highest. Um, there's a comment that went so far. Oh, listen, right. So this is the part gets where it gets interesting. So when you're listener, there's actually some of custom listener. So select this to be. Oh yeah, this is based on events, right? When the issue is created. Uh, at least what I've noticed. Go from here. There is components, project component. So I have the option when archive component. Seeing this group created events, group. So stuff like see how much now I can see how powerful project. But what I saw was this issue created, and there was this like saying F issue, saying issue, dot issue. Yeah, and based on that, the thing started to happen. See what Professor G actually event happened. Jira script listener triggers. Your script runs automatically. So these are the comments there. But of course, I can bet that some stuff Oh, my scripts plugin. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I got into the Atlassian ecosystem at 2022 when I was still a product manager. Basically, I transitioned from product manager to the Atlassian engineer, and it was an interesting journey so far. So, and I can tell that I like this. I like this more than DMing stuff and writing user stories for 2 hours or something like that. So that was that was really that was really exhausting. My scripts, oh, interesting. What I actually saw, at least on out there, is something called Stir. I don't know if you heard of it, but it's more based. It's based on JavaScript and based on HTML. So those two, and it was based on the so that so that was that was interesting to actually have something like. All right, so listeners, okay, so I can. That's right. And set comment. I say not available. I mean, uh, this all can be done in a automation rule, but okay. Hello. How fast it is. So is the listener. It triggered on the it triggered on it triggered on the event, which if the priority becomes the highest, add the escalation comment. If the component is that, if bug, so how it works. There you can access it. So this part right here is most important part. Should we say like have it this event dot issue, then issue update or something like that. But in here it wasn't updated because there wasn't this updated. It's like that doesn't issue at comment. So basically it's uh, say so add a watcher. Hey, set this and everything else. Add. Just delete. Actually, interesting stuff. So, get archived sign. Update sign. Happens because that I expect. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you completely. But you know, it's all about adapting to change, like agile principles used to teach us. Yeah, the data center deprecation was actually coming there because first they started to remove some of the courses, Jira administration center. All of that was gone. Then they said basically we're gonna be stopping selling the licenses. I think it's 27. Correct me, someone. I have 7 people are actually there. Feel free to chat in. Feel say hi. Feel free. No, say anything you want. If you have a joke or something like that, please bring it on to the table. Um, where was I? Seems like my mind stopped. All right, so yeah, so that is what the listeners are actually doing. And issue out the comment, the priority name is that one. So, and this is basically if I would say something like updated, and if I would say if issue dot priority name is to I, and now we're going to say issue add a comment saying take a look. It's not called add comment anymore, so oh, everything is on high. I have changed that. Change that. This. Oh, okay. good. But I believe that there are more complex stuff. Event loops. Issue updated listener. Issue and listener ever. I don't like the sound of someone is saying forever. No. You don't actually want to be in that kind of a loop. So I don't think that is the best thing out there. This can destroy Jira performance. Ooh, my bad. So event issue. Issue. Not issue. So this isn't contingent. Wait. Urgent issue detected. Why is this then? Because what I'm at least familiar, this is opposite. So this is like if not. So this is the highest. And if not comments any, its body contains urgent. Okay. At urgent issued. This is for any of the comments, right? Body contains. So this one. So um these ones are more. This one is a bit complex, Creates REST endpoints for server-side logic. Creates template HTML library. Then return HTML script. I don't know what SPA is actually. Sorry, but yeah, I saw that there is actually an option for basic. Actually, go here for REST endpoints to and to create your own. So that is something that is interesting to where to create listeners. Yeah, this is something I have. Okay, detected. It's a cut. This lesson. Behaviors. And I wouldn't actually jump to this right away because I told them, hey, you have more of this stuff, more of listeners. Um, and it was like, yeah, it was like this. And it went on, went on, and went on. I said at one point, stop, a task, try it, how it works. And it wasn't, see for this for example, comments that any. I didn't know that that even this exists. And I used something different. It was like if the comments were empty. So basically, it was like issues dot, I think it's this. Your name is this. Yeah. And basically it was like and issue dot comments dot, and I was like is empty. And then what happened um was interesting. So, and it was like, okay, now issue at comment. I would say this is a comment. Now, so what happened was changing this to this one, changing this to medium, and it's like hello from ScriptRunner, but basically didn't add anything there yet, because it was like this would be relevant. It was if it was from here, and then I will put this to low first, and then turn this to medium. Okay. Deal with it. What am I missing? Shoot, for medium. This is a comment. Yeah, so it did a different thing. Right, so it added when there were no comments at all. So that was actually something. Whew. I think that this right here, so hint not the solution. Yeah, thanks for that. Um, this one right here. And this is what it's saying. It must not add the comment than once. Because that was exactly what was happening. It started to loop and it started to add gazillions of it. Yeah, that's right. When there are no comments at all. That's right. That's what I figured out actually. Because I didn't know that there was like issue.comments.any. And I was like, okay. I didn't know that that even exists. But yeah, and I even told him, okay. And he was like, you got the right shape, but there are three important mistakes and stuff like that. And there was like checks whatever, no comments at all. Set comment is not the right approach. And then he told me like this. I already commented, issue comments any. Right? So this is like a new how do I say it? Option to add to remember. This is like almost adding each and then have a closure, or collect and have a closure, so on. It's a common body contains escalation comments, things like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be stopping in one long long stream. And of course, I'm gonna be continuing with learning this stuff because I really think it's important not only for the job market but also have more skills under. Yeah, that's it. Thank you everyone for joining in on the stream, and we see you guys the next one. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. I trust you. Yeah. See you, man, as well.